I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. The dead bug exercise is an advanced pelvic tilt exercise. I already did a video on the pelvic tilt exercise, but what the pelvic tilt is that you are contracting the abdominal muscles so that the anterior part of the pelvis at the pubic symphysis moves towards the umbilicus. And you hold that position in an isometric contraction starting with 2 seconds and building to 6 seconds. When you are performing the dead bug exercise, you perform a pelvic tilt and you hold the isometric contraction throughout the entire exercise while you are moving the hips and the arms. You want to start with just moving the hips by themselves and then moving one shoulder, then moving another shoulder, and then you are going to move one shoulder and the opposite hip, and then the opposite shoulder with its opposite hip. This is going to help to build strength, endurance, and coordination in the core muscles. It will help to provide stability to the core because you are holding the pelvic tilt while you are performing basic motions for the lower extremity and the upper extremity. As you can see, I am laying supine. The hips are flexed, the knees are flexed, and the feet are flat on the floor. The first step, plus the arms are by your side. You always want to make sure that the back of your head is contacting the floor and that your shoulder blades are contacting the floor. Place your arms by your sides with the palms down. The first step is to perform the pelvic tilt. From here, you are going to flex one hip and then control the motion down slowly. Flex the opposite hip, hold the upper position for 1 or 2 seconds, and then move back to the starting position. The next step, and you always want to make sure that you are holding your pelvic tilt. If you start to lose it, then just perform another contraction. The next step is to move the shoulder into flexion, so you are raising the arm overhead. And bring that as far as you can through a symptom-free range of motion. Hold that position and then return to the starting position. And then you're going to perform it with the opposite shoulder. Move slowly through a symptom-free range of motion. Once you get to your end range, hold that for 1 or 2 seconds and then move back to the starting position. And you could easily start with just moving one hip and then the opposite hip and go back and forth. And then you could start with the shoulders. You want to start at your current health and fitness level. Do not start at the level that you were at before you were injured or before you started training or where someone else is at or where you were at when you were younger. Start at your current health, fitness, and strength level. Always work through a symptom-free range of motion. If any exercise elicits or intensifies symptoms, you want to stop immediately and find a viable substitute. Always check with your medical professional to make sure that you are healthy enough to exercise and to make sure that this is an exercise that is safe for you. Also, you can work with a fitness professional to ensure that you are using proper technique. Viewing this video does not take the place of working with a medical professional or with a fitness professional. The next step is to move both one hip and one shoulder. You're going to use opposite shoulder with opposite hip. So therefore, if I am moving the left shoulder, then I am moving the right hip. And if I am moving the right shoulder, I am moving the left hip. Again, perform the pelvic tilt and hold that position. Slowly flex the hip and flex the shoulder through a symptom-free range of motion, and then move back to the starting position while holding the pelvic tilt. And then go to the opposite side. As you can see, I am raising my right shoulder and flexing my left hip. You can hold the end range for 1 or 2 seconds and then slowly move back to the starting position. You always want to control the eccentric phase of the exercise. Again, always work through a symptom-free range of motion. Hold the isometric pelvic tilt throughout the entire exercise. This exercise is going to help to build strength, endurance, and stability in the core. Any strengthening exercise can be performed on a regular schedule. You always want to skip a day in between your training sessions. Say if you perform the dead bug exercise on day 1, do not perform it on day 2. You could perform it on day 3 and then skip day 4 and then perform it again on day 5. You never want to do the same strengthening exercise 2 days in a row. So you always take off a training day in between each exercise. Again, never perform the same strengthening exercise 2 days in a row. You want to give your body a chance to recover and grow. Start with the number of repetitions that you could perform with perfect technique, and then slowly build to 15 repetitions with each side. So therefore it would be a total of 30 repetitions. So this would be 1 repetition. Slowly move back to the starting position. And then repetition number 2. So you build to 30 total repetitions, which would be 15 on each side. Again, holding the isometric pelvic tilt throughout the entire exercise. Thank you everybody for watching today's video on spine health. Always remember, never perform an exercise that elicits or intensifies symptoms. Always work through a symptom-free range of motion. Always check with a medical professional before starting any type of exercise program. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can visit my website, championshipchiropractic.com, where you get information on my book titled Running, Maximize Performance and Minimize Injuries. And you could also find my blog on my website. My blog contains articles on spine health, sports medicine, chiropractic, health, fitness, and nutrition. Thank you again for watching today's video. I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada.